I gotta say, I've spent a lot of time in my career talking about Tom Brady, discussing various aspects of his career, his successes, and it is pretty surreal now to be talking about him as a coworker.
He's going to join the fam,
which is very exciting. So if you haven't heard the news, Tom Brady is joining Fox Sports as our lead NFL analyst when he retires. Very important to mention when he retires, because although this is very big news for today, this is not an announcement that he is coming right now. Here is our announcement from Fox Sports NFL. We are pleased to announce that immediately following his playing career, 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady will be joining us at Fox Sports as our lead analyst. And he responded to the news on Twitter saying excited, but a lot of unfinished business on the field with the Buccaneers, hashtag LFG. Everyone knows what that means. I'd like to keep my job here at Fox, so I'm not going to read that one. You'll figure it out. It's very exciting, though. And, you know, him coming here is, you know, as Shannon just mentioned, if you were listening before the break, it's like Michael Jordan walking off the court and immediately joining as an analyst. I mean, this is the greatest player of all time joining the Fox Sports family as the lead analyst.
It doesn't get bigger. It does not get bigger.
No, it does not get bigger.
It does not get bigger than Tom Brady joining a broadcast team.
No. And there's levels to this, obviously. Like, him joining is very important, and it's impactful and it's exciting, but this is also an answer to something that we have all discussed when it comes to Tom Brady for a very long time. What is Tom Brady going to do when he retires? Now, he did have a bit of a retirement announcement, obviously, not too long ago, a few months ago, and it was very short-lived, and we weren't really sure what direction he was going in. But we've always discussed what's going to be the next chapter for Tom Brady, because Tom Brady is a very unique athletes and superstar in many different ways. But aside from his greatness, his obvious, you know, GOAT status and Hall of Fame status and legend status, he also is a uniquely obsessive superstar. He is in that class of Michael Jordan and Kobe and the guys that we know absolutely obsess over the game. He is extremely competitive, insanely competitive. He is a guy that has held on to that chip on his shoulder from being a 6th-round pick for his entire career. So we now have an answer for what the next chapter will be. And I got to be honest, I don't know that I expected him to go into broadcasting. I think a lot of us expected him to, you know, really dive into the business side of things. But he's sort of been chipping away at the media side of things for quite a while. He has obviously completely leaned into social media since he's joined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He had a pretty, I don't want to say laid back, but reserved persona when he was with the Patriots, because that's what was asked of him for 20 years with the Death Star. That was their motto, do your job. And he was the model citizen for that Patriots persona. Since he's been with the Buccaneers, he's been all over social media. He's been all over Instagram. He's completely leaned into being a much more public personality. We have so much more access to him. And that kind of started at the ends of his time with the Patriots, but now it has completely exploded. He obviously had the Tom versus Time documentary. He's been doing a whole lot more interviews. You've seen him more at celebrity events. He had the Man in the Arena. He has the Let's Go podcast. Was a part of the match. He's doing a movie right now, 80 for Brady, obviously as the production company. So this is sort of the where he's been trending lately with at least his public persona for quite some time. So this is a perfect transition for him. I never thought he was going to sail off into the sunset and pick up crocheting. He was obviously going to do something that was huge and impactful, because that is the type of person that he has shown us to be. But even if he were to dive into the businesses that he's already started, that doesn't necessarily provide the routine that we know Tom is obsessed with. You'll have plenty of film to watch as the lead analyst, and you don't have to do any of the running or lifting in order to do that job. So this is the perfect place for him. We're very excited to have Tom Brady. It's hard for players to just walk away from the game, and I imagine it would be very difficult for Tom Brady to not only walk away from the game, not have any closeness or proximity to the game, but also not have any type of routine. He is obviously obsessed with the game of football, family and football is what Brady is. And being an analyst requires that you be very close to the game. You do a lot of what we just showed, which is watching a lot of tape. And, it provides a lot of responsibility and a routine, which I know, me personally, not that I'm comparing myself to Tom Brady, right, before everyone starts freaking out. I do like having a routine. Colin and I talk about this a lot. We're routine people. I like knowing I have this to do tomorrow. I have this schedule. I'm going to park in this parking spot. I'm going to have this for breakfast. And I like the routine of things. I like building towards something over a period of time. And that's exactly what this role is going to provide him. And it's just really special that we're going to be able to get the perspective of the greatest player of all time while we watch the biggest games in football every week. So congratulations. Very excited to have you here at Fox Sports. And I think this is so much more than just an announcement for the company. We have now an answer about what Tom Brady is going to do upon retiring, which again, not yet. Unfinished business, according to Brady. So it could be this year. It could be next year. He will let us know when he's going to retire. But now we know where he will be. And that is here with us at Fox Sports. So very excited to hear that. And that's big news this morning. Now switching to the NBA playoffs. 2 games last night. 2 very good games. The late game was a little clunkier than the first. But illuminating nonetheless. And as I'm watching the NBA playoffs progress, and I really got this feeling going into the playoffs in the first round, and now you're really seeing it develop in the second round of the playoffs. I think we're seeing some significant trends with the NBA, and I think it's really healthy for the league. One, we're seeing really well-developed, well-run, well-coached teams that are deep go far in the playoffs and be there consistently. I think that's great for fans. I think it's great for the league as far as the development of young players and of establishing new stars goes. And we're seeing some real rivalries develop because these teams are consistently there. They see each other a lot. We're able to see the storylines of the players develop and really thrive. And the animosity level that we've seen throughout this playoffs is adding to those rivalries. So those are 2 big complaints about the NBA, right? Like it's all star driven. Everyone's changing teams. There's no consistency. You can't be a fan of anyone. You got to change jerseys all the time. All the players, all the stars make all the decisions. Well, you're not seeing that with the teams that are in the playoffs now. In fact, Philadelphia is the only team in the playoffs right now that's made a drastic move for a superstar as of recent in James Harden. And that wasn't even something they really wanted to do originally. They wanted to run it with Ben Simmons, and it wasn't working out. So I would argue it was their hand was forced in that space. They've been the one that's trust the process, that's wanted to develop year after year after year. So what we're seeing with all these teams, if you look at the teams that are remaining, is that there's a lot of parity, there's a lot of balance, and it is really benefiting teams that are consistent, that are loyal, that are patient, that develop players, that of course are aggressive in moves when they need to be. They're not complacent, but they're also not panicking. And I think that's really important for the NBA right now. There's been so many critics of the NBA poking at these specific things. There's no rivalries anymore. We need villains. Well, you're getting rivalries and you're getting animosity and you're getting, some borderline dirty play in these playoffs right now. You can't argue that. Oh, it's all about the stars. Everybody's superstars changing teams. AAU pairing up together. You're not seeing that this year either. And you didn't really see it last year. These teams are developing. They're well coached. They're well run. Even when they make moves, like Brad Stevens moving into the front office, they're not drastic. They're not explosive. Everyone is consistently working towards the goal. And if it doesn't work out, it's not an explosion. It's not panic. It's not drama. And you're getting the rewards in that from the fans. The ratings are up 23% this year. That is significant. So everything is pointing to the league is in a really healthy place. We're always talking about who's the face of the league and what's going to happen when LeBron retires. And listen, you need superstars. I am a superstar person. You need storylines. You need narratives. You need villains. You need all that. I agree. But I think what you're seeing in the NBA playoffs is not only great basketball, you're seeing well-developed, well-coached teams, players having the opportunity to rise up and have big moments on the biggest stage. And a lot of success is being rewarded to teams that have been patient. And I think that's great for the league overall. And I think we're going to continue to see this trend moving forward. Of course, there's always going to be a team that pops up that puts together a bunch of stars. But the team that we thought was that team this year was Brooklyn, and they're nowhere to be found and got swept in the first round. So the trend for the NBA, very much like the NFL in some ways, is that you continuously tinker, you continuously make adjustments, you continue to grow. Panicking, firing coaches every 2 years, making these big swings with no guarantee of any kind of ROI is moving out the window, which I think is really flying in the face of everything that we as a society are with instant gratification. You have to be patient. You've got to build. You've got to allow young players to develop. You've got to add veterans that fit into systems that are willing to be selfless and sacrifice and have the big star that works with what you do. And that's what you're seeing in these NBA playoffs, and I think it's great.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.